What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the next episode here on Sports Talk with Hawk. It's been a fantastic week after Monday night. Not going to lie, work was really rough Monday night. Got stuck in an accident for 7 hours. But the rest of the week has gone really well. The weather has been playing really nice, at least until this weekend. And you know what? We're going to finish this week off really strong. Tomorrow, I'm going to do some of my mock draft. It'll be a two-part mock draft, 1 through 16, 17 through 32. So I'm going to do a two-part mock draft. Actually, I may do the NBA playoffs focus one tomorrow, so I can do the two-parter next Monday and Tuesday as we head into the NFL draft. Today, we're going to look at some special teams, talk about some recent things. It's going to be a little bit shorter of a podcast, but we're just going to go over a couple different things. What's happening in football? What can we expect? What's going on at the college level? Because I really haven't commented on that yet. And we're going to go from there. We'll throw in some NBA as well as the playing games. The first set is done. So we're going to talk about a couple different things. Here we go. All right, guys, here we go. So we are currently sitting at Thursday morning. The first round of play-in games in the NBA playoffs are done. The Dallas Mavericks knocked off the Kings last night. The Heat knocked off the Chicago Bulls as well. And then we had the previous round. So Tuesday night we had the Magic beat the Hawks and the Warriors beat the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, I had made a bet that Sacramento was going to get in. My feelings are whoever won the 9-10 game would beat Memphis. They fired their coach. They started a spiral. Shocker. I'm really worried about what's going to happen with Denver. Not going to lie, but we'll get into those series a little bit further on. The Magic have given the Boston Celtics trouble this year in games. I don't think Boston can sweep them. It very easily could be a 6-game series. And with the Rockets and Warriors, I think it could easily go 7. So we'll get into those previews, but we've got the two final games, the Mavericks versus the Memphis Grizzlies, which I'm definitely taking the Mavericks, and then the Heat and the Hawks. And I want the Hawks to win, but the Heat could easily knock off the Cavs, I think, with the way the team is built. I don't believe the Hawks could. I don't think they have the firepower inside to be able to really fight. So, honestly, I think it's going to be Heat and Mavs that win tomorrow night. And then we'll have Saturday opening the NBA playoffs. But tomorrow will be the full thing with my guesses of who's going to be the 8 seeds on both sides. In the NFL/college football, so one thing I haven't actually talked about is we've had a couple of players retire this week. We've had Patrick Peterson retire, longtime veteran in the NFL. Great corner, great teammate, and he retired as an Arizona Cardinal. Congratulations to him on an outstanding career. Always played the game right. Great professional. I loved Patrick Peterson coming out of college. I loved watching him play. I loved watching him play corner. I loved hearing sound bits of him playing corner. So really sad that he is now done, but congratulations to him on an excellent career. Tyron Smith also retired from the Dallas Cowboys. And basically, it was just, it's the right time to hang it up, is what he said. So at this point in time, that does open up a couple of different things. Like the Cowboys kind of were wondering if Tyler would retire. Um, Obviously, Peterson was a free agent. He signs with the Cardinals, so he can retire a Cardinal. Good for him. Another piece of news that came out this morning is the Bears gave, now they have two Edwards. So this is TJ Edwards, a 2-year, $20 million extension for TJ Edwards. They earlier in the week extended Kyle Gordon to a 3-year, $30 million extension, their slot corner. I believe with the Chicago Bears, this looks a little bit more business-like. $10 million a year contracts are better than $15 million a year contracts. And this could play a huge part into how some GMs are looking at this draft, but the 49ers have 12 picks in this draft. So the best thing for certain teams that have a bevy of picks, whether through the picks they originally had or compensatory, how you can tell what the teams are really thinking about this draft is whether or not they've gotten rid of those picks for players. So, as most of you know, I play fantasy football, die hard. Dynasty. I am super excited for this year. We're doing a Pirate League, which is special weekly rules. We're doing a Super Flex League, which is where you can play 2 quarterbacks in your flex position. You actually can play a quarterback as well. So obviously everybody's going to be doing that. It would be one killer draft if you were able to get Jaden Daniels and Josh Allen, or Jaden Daniels and Lamar Jackson. Well, that would be a killer draft in a Super Flex League. But I play fantasy football die hard. And I have actually kind of done the same thing with my draft picks for this year. One of my dynasty teams, I lacked a lot of depth. Didn't have very much depth in a couple different areas, and I made currently 3 trades that gave me the depth I needed. Traded away the picks, giving me the depth I needed. Now I still have my first round pick, which is pick number 12 in a 14-team league, to be able to draft one of the rookies that comes out. Probably a running back is what I'm going to go with. But everything else I've pushed off to 2026, and I've got 4 or 5 picks in 2026 right now compared to the 3 that I originally had. Even I understand there is a little bit more value because this draft is going to be offensive line, defensive line. It's going to be role players, not necessarily skill position. If you can't get Genty, Tyler Warren, Loveland, I like Luther Burden, as you guys know. T-Mac is going to have to really shape up really quickly and understand he's going to lose at this level if he doesn't pay attention and play football. But all in all, this draft is a build your team draft, which is why I think teams like the 49ers could do really, really well. Teams that have good coaching are not scared of this draft. Teams that have good GMs are not scared of this draft. The amount of smoke that's coming out now, I hate it. John Middlecoff, I watch a lot of different guys and listen to a bunch of different guys while I'm driving overnight. And Middlecoff kind of came out. He was a scout for the Philadelphia Eagles. And he said he really hates this time of year now. 2 weeks before the draft, you can't trust any story that comes out. Any story that comes out anonymously is probably a lie. He questioned the Derek Carr story. And I have to admit, in my own mind, when I read the Derek Carr story of him being out, I remembered all the injuries. I remembered it kept him out. I remember the game that Taysom Hill just absolutely went off. Because in one of my fantasy leagues, I actually had him that week. And I remember all that. I just don't remember it being that bad. And he said, where did this come from? Because they just paid him a bunch of money instead of cutting him. He's right. Where did it come from? We're not really sure. Either way, they're going to have dead cap, but it would have been a lot less. So something doesn't make sense. Did that story get put out to put a cool on somebody? When stories come out, I mean, shoot, the Texans did it. They supposedly didn't like CJ Stroud. They love CJ Stroud. Stuff like that is now happening. The media is used as a tool to be able to manipulate the drafting position of certain players if GMs are dumb enough to fall for it. And unfortunately, there are dumb GMs that will fall for it. My favorite movie to watch during this time of year is Draft Day. It really, and I know everybody's like, well, it's Hollywood up. They changed how it really works. Are you sure? I know they changed a little bit, but are you really sure? Because in that movie, it's not just business. In Moneyball, it's not just business. It's two guys, head honchos, talking to each other, having a conversation. It's what it sounds like to me. And the better ones know how to manipulate with their words the weaker ones. And they all know who the weak GMs are. They know you're not calling Les Snead and getting anything over on him. They know you're not calling John Lynch and getting anything over on him. But you could get things over on Ryan Poles of Chicago. I don't think he's a great GM. Definitely don't think he's a great GM. You could get things over on the Bengals. Potentially the Browns. The Steelers are well run. But are they that smart? They can't get offense right for the last, 5 years? So there is a certain thing or a certain reality that right now the manipulation is real. The manipulation with trades is real. The draft night trades, first round trades, I don't know what to put the prediction at. It's 1 or more, 2 or more, 3 or more, 4 or more, 5 plus, 5 or more. I don't know. And I think it's going to depend on how the first 4 go. If I'm Cleveland, you've now got Joe Flacco, Deshaun Watson, and Kenny Pickett all there. If you're planning on pushing Watson out, which is fine, it's your ability to do so. If you're planning on pushing Watson out and you're still going to draft Shedeur Sanders, okay. There seems to be a huge cool-off on Sanders right now. But is that on purpose? It was the same thing that happened with CJ Stroud, and they got their guy. There is still a way that Shedeur Sanders goes to Cleveland. There's a way Abdul Carter goes to Cleveland. There's a way Ashton Genty goes to Cleveland. The Giants have said they're willing to play Hunter both ways. I believe that was 1,000% on purpose from Joe Shane because they know that's who they want to draft. And if they draft Travis Hunter and the Browns draft Shedeur Sanders, that means the Patriots are going to draft Abdul Carter. Welcome to a defensive scheme that you will be able to thrive in, Abdul Carter. Welcome to a coaching staff that will coach you up to be the best technical defensive edge that you can be. Welcome to a great situation for a number 4 pick. And then at 5 with the Jaguars, you're just tossing coins at that time. I think they need to go offensive line. I know they're going to want a skill player. I really am not sure. And like I said, my mock draft is going to be position, not going to be person, because I don't think the person necessarily is really as easy to predict this year. And for those of you that think it's a cop-out, sure, but there's too much similarities and not enough disparity in the prospects to really say this one belongs here better than this one. I told you guys between the two corners, I like Hunter as a zone and I like Will Johnson as a man corner better. So based off of that gut feeling and that info from watching the tape, I could guess which teams would be better for the guys to be drafted, but which one's better to the team that's drafting them? Whether he's a zone corner or a man corner, do they care? That's the other part. Is like Will Campbell. I like Will Campbell over Kelvin Banks. Do they want a guy that can only play tackle, or do they want a guy that can play tackle and guard? Do they want versatility, or do they want one specific position? That's the question. And then you've got all the trades. We mentioned them at the end of the podcast yesterday. You've got Dallas Goedert. You got Mark Andrews, Jalen Ramsey. What's going to happen with these guys? When are these guys going to get traded? And that's a big question. So heading into the draft, my feelings are really simple. Nobody really has a clue except for pick number 1. Cam Ward is going number 1. It's clear. There's been no question. The Titans aren't even hiding it. This is where I hate the idea of if they go on the clock, they'll use all 10 minutes. No. Listen, you want to start out the draft with a bang? You have Roger Goodell go up there with the envelope when he's opening the draft saying the Titans are now on the clock, and then immediately turning around after he goes off the stage, comes back and goes, with the first pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Cam Ward, quarterback, Miami, Florida. That's what you do. You started out so quick. You put pressure on the rest of the teams. They don't have 10 minutes. Guess what, Cleveland? You're on the clock. Now you got to make a move. Guess what, Giants? You've only got 10 more minutes till you're on the clock. You better figure it out. Draft night, everybody's thinking they're going to really play everything out and elongate everything. No. I think this draft could be one of those where that happens because they're trying to weigh different options, trade options, seeing if they can get something to the very last second. I absolutely think that could be the case. But for the Tennessee Titans, pick in the first 60 seconds. Just go. Speed up the Cleveland Browns, the Giants, who, let's be honest, can struggle. I like Andrew Berry. I do not like Joe Shane. I like Andrew Berry for the Browns. I do not like Joe Shane for the Giants. So if you speed up Joe Shane, he could absolutely fall flat. And it could really catch up on these guys quick. We'll see what happens. You're not going to catch Mike Vrabel flat-footed. He is going to sit there and he's going to go, I don't care which one of these 4 are there. I think if Shedeur drops, I think he goes offensive lineman. I think he likes a Will Campbell type. I don't think he's going to go defense. He will go offensive line, give himself a really big rookie offensive lineman that can grow with Drake May and protect him for years to come. That's my feeling. But if Abdul Carter's there, you're not passing up Abdul. If Travis Hunter's there, you're not passing up Hunter. Just that simple. So at that point, starting at pick number 5, it's going to get really, really, really interesting. And I love how it can play out. I absolutely love it. We are 1 week away. 1 week away. It's in my phone. We're going to finish soccer practice, and then I'm going to watch the NFL draft. That's what's going to happen. All right. Cool. So let's talk about college football for a second. And the reason I want to bring this up is because of what everybody currently knows. The quarterback for Tennessee, Nico, and we're just going to stay with Nico because I don't want to butcher his last name. I watched him 5 games last year. This was my fear with NIL. And I know Joel Klatt came out trying to protect everything because he didn't want a narrative around it being NIL. NIL is not supposed to be getting paid by the school, okay? NIL is name, image, likeness. Nobody can put a cap on what you can make off of your name in outside endorsements. But they can cap how much schools can pay players. They can put a salary cap in. They can cap it. Nico's dad is an absolute buffoon and an idiot, and potentially really hurt his son's chances of playing football at a high level. Because Oregon and Ohio State are already out on Nico. And currently the teams that are eyeing him are all mid to lower end programs. UCLA is emerging as one of them. So it's still a big conference. It's a Big Ten. You're not winning in UCLA very much. You're not on TV very much. Tennessee was on TV quite a lot last year. You just ruined your best shot at getting to the NFL, whether as a backup or as a starter. Think about this. Hendon Hooker is the backup quarterback for the Detroit Lions. He has not moved. He is still there. Joe Milton is now the backup quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Both of them were the Tennessee quarterbacks. Both of them are backup quarterbacks. They are smart. They are there because they are smart. They're useful backup quarterbacks. Nico is not. Nico would not even get drafted above Curtis Rourke potentially this year. That's how bad his accuracy is. Has horrible pocket awareness, doesn't feel anything, misses wide open guys consistently. Was really a Achilles heel for the Tennessee Volunteer team. Has a bad year and then wants to double his pay in pay from the school, which gets labeled under NIL, but this is not NIL. This is asking the school to pay you more. And I am proud of Tennessee for saying no, because the precedent cannot be set at college, and this is, I know this is old school, but here's a big issue. There's a lot of legal red tape with Supreme Court stuff that would have to take place for a collective bargaining agreement to really come into play with public universities. You are taking in a public collective to spend money on these students that are athletes. There is a lot of stuff that's going to get put into play here. The next couple years is going to determine whether or not we have college football or if the UFL gets morphed into what everybody has been calling the quote-unquote amateur league. If the UFL ends up being the place where instead of going to college, you go to the UFL and you have to play for 2 years in the UFL and then get drafted into the NFL, that may be what we end up with. I don't like where this is going. I really don't like where this is going. It could be a just, snowflake in the wind. It's going to go away and then it's going to melt. Or this could really be something that's a boulder coming down a hill, and it could hurt college football. And I love college football. I do not want to see anything damage it. But this story, this dad is hurting his son's life, trying to make more money that's not even his own, off of a year where his son played bad and was really the reason they couldn't beat anybody, i.e. Ohio State. I know they won the national championship, but that defense didn't get any help that night from Nico. So, at this point, I think hopefully everything gets settled down. Everything gets played out the way it needs to. And hopefully we'll be good to go. But I don't like it. I absolutely do not like it. All right. A little bit different. Talked about mostly what could happen, what's going on right now. Tomorrow, think I decided we'll do the NBA playoff previews tomorrow. Mock draft will be on Monday and Tuesday. I'm excited, kicking off in a really exciting time. The NFL schedule release is less than a month away now, too. Hallelujah. So here we go. We got an exciting next month before we get into a dead time where I have to figure out what the heck to do. All right, guys, that is going to be it for a Thursday afternoon. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Make sure to subscribe, like the podcast. I deeply appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Make it the best day you can. Make it the best Friday you can. And we'll talk tomorrow about the NBA playoffs. Until then, for Sports Talk with Hawk, I am Hawk, and I'm out. Have a great evening.